Good morning, Dr. Hickey, Mr. Gallagher, Mr. Patterson, faculty, and fellow students. George Washington once said, "True friendship is a plant of slow growth," and I couldn't agree more. So often, people tend to throw around the term best friend as if it's some interchangeable title you can hand off to someone new every week. But to me, a best friend is so much more than that. It's not just someone you share jokes with during class or sit next to on the bus. It's someone who truly understands you, someone who's seen you at your best and at your absolute worst and sticks around anyways. A best friend is someone who grows with you, who challenges you, who celebrates your highs and walks with you through your lows. It's truly one of the most lasting and meaningful connections a person can have, something truly irreplaceable. I was lucky enough to find that kind of friendship early in life, and for the past 10 years, I referred to the same person as my best friend. When I first sat down to start writing this speech, I wanted to paint the picture of a perfect friendship, one that was effortless from the beginning. But the truth is that couldn't be further from reality. Haley and I first met as babies at just a couple months old because our parents had been longtime friends. Our two dads were, at the time, still living out their NHL fantasies through beer league and roller hockey, and our poor moms who got dragged along for the ride. When we were younger, I simply saw Haley as a girl who would come over to steal my slime or make me play with ugly Barbie dolls. But little me would never have guessed that the same girl would grow into one of the most important people in my life. The core shift of our relationship came a full 9 years after we met when our parents decided to sign us up for Learn to Play Hockey. If you were to have watched one of the clinics, you would have seen me and Haley standing a whole foot taller than the other kids, which goes to show how late our parents decided to get us into the sport. At that point, Haley and I still hadn't totally warmed up to each other, but looking back now, that was the start of something genuine. A friendship that, despite its awkward beginnings, would slowly become the most steady and grounding relationship I'll ever have. Over the next few weeks, our parents got to watch us fall in love with the same sport our dads did decades before, and come fall of that same year, Haley and I were playing in our first club season together. As time went on, our relationship began to grow naturally. The same girl I used to be forced to hang out with was now slowly becoming my best friend. For the past 6 years, we've been on almost every team together, and honestly, my favorite thing about our friendship is how far we've pushed each other. Since we were basically each other's shadows, our every move has been compared since the day we started hockey, and although emotions definitely got brought into this, and I can recall multiple arguments where I claimed I'd never speak to her again, I think I am the player I am today because of her. She's always been both the positive and negative motivation that I needed. Now, considering we've seen each other probably 5 times a week for the past 6 years, it's no surprise that Haley and I not only learned to push each other on the ice, but also figured out how to get on each other's nerves pretty easily. I can admit that there has been multiple times where I've had her blocked on just about everything, while at the same time was being forced to share a hotel room with her. This particular incident happened last July when our moms took Haley, her sister Kelsey, and me to the Zach Bryan concert in Boston. Like most girls our age, Haley and I are both pretty opinionated, so when a minor argument wasn't going either of our ways, we both snapped, which unfortunately led to very few words being exchanged for the rest of the night. Even though it was still one of the best nights of my life, looking back, I wish I hadn't been so petty and allowed myself to enjoy it more with both of my best friends. But thankfully, one of the easiest parts of our relationship is how quickly we both move on from things. So the next day, when I re-added Haley on Snapchat, it was no surprise when she came jumping out of the bathroom cheering. I've had dozens of friends over the years, but I can't think of a single one that would have reacted that way. The beauty of our friendship comes from how natural it is. I've never had to put in any extra effort to keep Haley around. We've just always been there for each other. Haley and I lived through every stage of our lives side by side, and while hockey may eventually lead us down different paths, I know our relationship wouldn't be what it is without it. Earlier this month, Haley and I competed in the girls' Tier 2 National Championship in Springfield, Virginia. Going into the tournament, we both knew things were up in the air for next season, and that these games might be the last ones we ever played together. We ended up coming out of the quarterfinals with a 3-1 record, which gave our team a pretty good amount of confidence, but I couldn't shake the thought that this very well could be the last weekend playing with the most valuable teammate I'll ever have. It felt like there was this invisible tension between Haley and me, something no one else on our team would have even noticed. Within the first 10 minutes of our semifinal game, the other team had already come up on us by 2, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't already devastated. With almost an entire game left to play, I'd already started to mourn the end of everything this season had given me. But by that point, the game was still very far from over, and by some miracle, we came out of it winning 3-2. We won as a team and we celebrated as a team, but when the locker room filled with tears of joy, Haley and I cried too, though maybe deep down ours came from a slightly different place. By 10 a.m. the next morning, me and Haley, along with 18 other girls who we considered family, would be lining up to receive our championship medals. This was something our same team had seen as impossible the year before. Winning a national championship again someday might be possible, but nothing will ever top the feeling of doing it with that team and with my favorite person. After the game, I tried not to think about next season because I didn't want those thoughts to take away from the moment, but I definitely found myself getting emotional. Haley had been there for it all, every tournament, every bag skate, every late night practice, and honestly, it was all a little more bearable because I had her. And I'm not just saying that, I really mean it when I say she was the one who kept me grounded through it all. The week following nationals, I had to make the hardest decision of my life. On Thursday, April 10th, only 4 days after I put the national championship hat on my head, I agreed to go to a boarding school in Rhode Island. Haley and I have lived no more than 5 minutes away from each other for our whole lives, but now come September, that distance will grow to 250 miles. It's not exactly something I've wrapped my head around yet, and it honestly doesn't feel real. I never imagined that the month of my 16th birthday, I would be moving over 5 hours away, and it's crazy to think that for the next 4 years, Haley and I will be living lives that are completely separate from one another. But even with all that, I truly believe that when Haley and I see each other again, it'll feel like no time has passed. Like I said before, our friendship has always been effortless, and I don't think a 5-hour car ride between us will change a thing. Now, as I stand here today, thinking about everything Haley and I have shared, I realize how lucky I am. Friendships like ours are rare. They're built on years of trust, laughter, and unconditional support. A real friend is someone who shows up for you no matter what, who knows the unspoken parts of you, and who makes even the ordinary moments unforgettable. Haley has been that kind of friend. Through every stage of my life so far, she's been by my side, cheering me on, making me laugh, and reminding me of who I am when I forget. And even though we'll soon be living hours apart, I know that won't change a thing, because when a friendship is this strong, distance doesn't matter. Our bond will always be there, steady, familiar, and unbounded. Thank you.